Well, we're shifting. We're always shifting, but I don't think that there's any denying it anymore. And before I get into this, I want to say that I tend to be pretty critical of terms like ascension and 5D. This is not about a mass ascension, but it is about a big collective change. We're experiencing a shift that's so significant, we are continuously experiencing evidence of it in materiality. And it looks like chaos. That's what the state of dissolution looks like. And the understanding that our consensus reality is very mutable is frightening. And the mutability and chaos will continue and possibly increase in frequency and intensity. That's a lot to deal with. So I want to start talking about one of the places we're shifting to, because there's always a choice. And it's the place I see through all of the everything swirling all around us. And it's the place I intend to create and go as the current world continues to die. It's called the Sovereign Age. The Sovereign Age is defined by the following. Number 1, energy. Material will continue to become less and less relevant. Ownership will continue to become less and less relevant. We will absolutely still require safe homes, food, breatharians, not yet. Potentially vehicles depending on where we live. And money will persist in how we, for the most part, represent currency. But we're going to keep seeing alterations like Bitcoin and NFTs. While I dislike Bitcoin and NFTs, they are no denying that they are representative of this shift. The only thing that makes them valuable is the energy it requires to mint them and the attention of various human beings. And attention is energy. Cultivating, sensing, directing, and managing energy is important during the transition. It was important in prior ages, and it's going to be imperative in the Sovereign Age and every age to come. If you're not naturally sensitive, or you are, but you're having trouble managing or directing your energy, start a practice now. I'll have videos on that as well as tips on my Instagram and TikTok. But you can find basic practices from lots of different people who already have that content available on their own channels. You do not need to spend money on a starting practice or even to operate in the Sovereign Age effectively. It's free! Without energy, you won't be able to manifest materially. Ultimately, we're going to get to the point where the material manifestation won't matter at all. The quicker you can get to that point, the quicker you'll be able to understand and experience fulfillment. Fulfillment has nothing to do with the material outcome of a manifestation. Number 2, being limitless. In the dying age, we defined the spiritual side of the universe and its workings through various sets of laws and principles. We are no longer defined by laws. We experience states on various spectrums. There is no one way. There is no one answer. It's nonlinear, simultaneous, and constant. We as beings are limitless. We may choose to define ourselves through a belief, a gender expression, a sexuality, a faith practice, but all of this is mutable and transitory. We are limitless. The material world is not. The material world has a lot of limits and systems that do affect us to varying degrees. We will be able to alter or get around some of that, but it will likely be slow going. A massive fallacy of the dying age is that abundance applies to the material. Nope. By observation, obviously not. And those differences have only a fraction to do with our state of worth and state of transmission, or what we used to refer to as vibe, or our overall energetic state. Understanding and managing our states effectively will not automatically translate into financial success or fame, or even the sort of life you believe you want. It is possible, but it is not guaranteed. There is no abundance of material. There is only an abundance of energy. And while that is free and limitless, we will all experience conditions where there are barriers even to that. Anyone with a chronic health or mental health condition who is experiencing the access barriers to treatment that comes along with that can attest to the energetic barriers that go along with it too. Ultimately, creating more fulfillment is going to look drastically different from person to person. Just because you can create and manage an abundance of energy does not mean you will be able to convert it to another state. Number 3, community. While self-reliance is useful, individualism is a disease. None of us has ever done anything on our own. We've all had help. We all have ancestors, and if you believe in the spiritual realms, we have disembodied support unless it is strategically removed, which it will be at certain points, or it will seem to be. Myopic, chronic individualism leads to death. We are not one. We are interdependent and interconnected, created and held together by the same essence and presence. We are not made to be alone, and we don't create that way either. Constructs built on one at the top are going to become increasingly brittle and will fall apart more quickly. Information won't come from a solitary source. I'm the only one talking specifically about the sovereign age and how to operate in it right now, but more people are going to start speaking up. No one person has all of the information. I have a part and another person will have another. If you see this and you've been receiving new information, but you've been scared to talk about it because maybe you think no one will listen, or everyone just wants the law of attraction, well, they always will unless you start bringing your authentic information to the conversation. There are ideas and systems and practices from other ages that are still useful and will continue to be useful as we continue shifting, but a lot of it can go. We are meant to deconstruct and reconstruct. If not you, then who? Number 4, authenticity. You cannot manifest whatever you want. You can only manifest what your personal will allows, or the truth of your heart. You can work on growing and honing your will, which is more effort, or you can explore your heart, yourself, and discover the truth there. The truth of the heart leads to effortless manifestation, but the process to the nadir of your heart requires confronting and sitting with deep pain. Be honest with yourself. Pick your path. Both are simple, neither is easy. Anyone telling you any different is in denial or sales. Number 5, sovereignty. The sovereign age will be largely created by sovereign beings and those whose intention is sovereignty. Sovereignty is defined by self-respect, self-value, self-expression, and the recognition and respect of those qualities in each other, no matter our current state. We may work with unseen beings, but we are not ruled by them. We may respect and listen to them, but our lives are not dictated by them. We understand there are no saviors. There is only us. Any second coming is a return to the truth of us. If you're waiting for the return of a being who is no longer embodied, or who never was, you will be waiting forever. That's a very broad overview of the sovereign age. I'll be making more videos going more in depth on these topics and subtopics. It's going to be interesting. Get out there and start your practice. Make your mess. Create what's true.